All of the teams are now locked and loaded, confirmed, and the final team announced for the weekend's rugby in this November Test Series comes from Felipe Contepone's men. So, aquí está el equipo argentino. Here it is, and I tell you what, some proper firepower. Especially, have a look straight away on the bench. Isn't it interesting? More and more, we are looking at the bench first before the starting 15. And you see, I mean, last week against Scotland, massive impact that Pablo Matera and Santiago Carreras had. Like, just the two of them were a bomb squad all on their own. Just completely wrestled the game out of Scotland's hands. And you add to that, in terms of firepower, Joaquin Oviedo off the bench as well. That is absolutely going toe-to-toe with England. Going, I'll see your POM squad and I'll raise you, I don't know what you want to call it, but explosive is what I'd call Pablo Matera and Joaquin Oviedo off the bench. That is huge. A bit of a blow for Argentina, meanwhile, is that Santiago Chocobares is not there. With the fact England were without Ollie Lawrence, Chocobares could have made such a difference. But on the flip side, Thomas Albanese straight back into the starting lineup. He is an absolute baller. He was the orchestrator of the win for Argentina against the British and Irish Lions. He was one of the Argentinians that was missing over the summer when England went to Argentina and won comfortably 2-0 in a series win without their British and Irish Lions. But like I say, Argentina were without a number of their frontline players. But yeah, no getting around it. Albanese back, big plus. Chocobares out, big loss. I do think, actually, for what it's worth, whilst they don't have Mateo Carreras, who has incredible upside. He made so many carries last week. He had a really, really busy game. I do think Delgi, Iskro and Malia as a back three, really good in the air. And Argentina are so good at playing off the chaos of broken field from kicks. Their transition attack is incredible. And I think they will... Well, England are going to have to kick so accurately. If they kick a little bit loose, then Argentina are a team that can absolutely shred. More so if they'd had Chocobares and Cinti in the midfield. And Garcia at scrum half as well. So they are missing a few, but, I mean, it's a very handy team. I'm really pleased to see, from an Argentinian point of view, not from an England fan point of view, really pleased to see Thomas Gajo starting. And also Wenger on the bench, I think, is a better scrummager than Mako Vivas. So I think that's good for Argentina that he's in. And Repetti as well on the bench. What a talent he is. 20-year-old from Toulouse. Him and Gajo are going to be the future of the Argentinian front row. And the English connection as well. This will not be unfamiliar conditions, surroundings, opposition, because not only have Argentina and England played a lot in recent years, and yes, England have the edge over Argentina in those games, but the English connection with a lot of these players. You've got Julian Montoya, spent years at Leicester. You've got Petty, who now plays over the road at Harlequins. Rubiolo's up the road at Bristol. Joan Martin Gonzalez plays in London with Saracens. Santiago Grondona at Bristol. And it goes on. Moroni has experienced English rugby at Newcastle. Santiago Carreras, Bath, and previously Gloucester. So there's a lot of... And Pablo Matera used to play at Leicester. So there's a massive number of players that have or do play in England. And that just adds to another subplot. And England have got their work cut out, make no mistake. And Steve Borthwick, I mean, some England fans have said his selection is a little frustrating because he's gone back to some old guard players when there's a couple of injuries out, like Ollie Lawrence. Henry Slade comes back in. And when Tom Roebuck is out, Elliot Daly has come back in. A couple of guys that have been around the block. I do think that experience gets underrated sometimes. There's a couple of rotations in position as well. So in the forwards, you've got Finn Baxter onto the bench, Ellis Genge starting. But then also in the front row, you have got Asher Opoku-Fajor coming in for Joe Hayes. This is the biggest game of Asher Opoku-Fajor's life, and he's going to be up against Thomas Gajo. So a massive test for him. Let's see what he's made of. And Alex Mitchell on the bench and Ben Spencer starting. That is another big call. It is important, but when you come around to World Cups, that there are minutes under the belt for these guys you may have to rely on. Alex Mitchell is so far ahead, the number one scrum half. Ben Spencer needs minutes. And this is a big game for him. Really, really big. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. It's if you had a combined 23-man squad, if you could take all 23 of these Englishmen and then take all 23 of those Argentinians, who would you pick on the bench and in the starting lineup? Who would make your 23? It's really hard. And this is what I've come up with. Let me know what you reckon. So in the pack, 4 and 4. In the front row, 2 Argentinians. I mean, I think Astropoku Fajor, I think if he were Argentinian, he might be starting for Argentina, but he just doesn't have the experience at this level. So I've gone with Delgado, big cube of a man. So that's going to be interesting. Genjon Delgado, Montoya at hooker, one each of the locks. I think Rubiolo is one of the best young players in the world. And in the back row, Underhill, Kremer and Earl is a proper back row. Juan Martin Gonzalez is no slouch either. So I could have had him instead of Underhill. I've just edged for Underhill. And when you look at the forwards on the bench, England have possibly got an edge in the front row. But Oviedo and Matera, I just, do you know what? I know it doesn't really make sense. There's no second row cover on the bench, but I would just put Marcos Kremer to second row. What the heck? I don't know. I just had to pick Curry, Oviedo and Matera on the bench because those guys, that would be an unbelievable back row. Pablo Matera 6, Tom Curry 7, Joaquin Oviedo. That could be a back row that could compete with any team, anywhere, anytime. They're all going to appear off the bench. And I think this game will come down to the last 20 minutes. And then you've got 2 game-playing players in Santi Carreras for Argentina and Alex Mitchell for England. And I think those 2 are going to have a massive bearing on how this game goes. In the back line, Thomas Albanese, ordinarily I probably would edge for over George Ford, but Albanese is coming back in straight into the team, and George Ford had an imperious display last week. In the centres, I mean, it would be Chocobares and Sinti if they were both fit. They're both out. And I think you see England's depth. I think England's next cabs off the rank are just slightly better than Argentina's. Although I will say that Justo Picado, relatively new to international rugby, he looks really good. A big old unit. So he could definitely do some damage. I think where Argentina have got a massive edge is the energy off the bench and the game playing skills off the bench, but also Malia, Delgi, Iskro picking off scraps and counter-attacking. That could be where this game is won for Argentina. So England have got to kick very, very well. Ben Spencer and George Ford have got to have big games. That's my thoughts. I cannot wait for this match. I can't wait for the weekend's rugby, in fact. I'll be across the channel all weekend long, reacting to the games, and hopefully you'll join me for that. Get stuck in the comments down below. That's what they're there for. It'd be boring if we all thought the same thing. Opinions are amazing, and I want yours. So let me know, and I will see you on the next video.